everyone! Welcome to 4.1. Not quite the legend returning, but instead... Dramatis Personae. Keaton knows of someone seeking your acquaintance. Yes, it's time for the Alliance Raid! Also, it's raining. Welcome, my lord. There is a young maiden here who would speak with you. Oh, miss! The adventurer has arrived! And here he is, the liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I am Lena Lena, correspondent for the Raven. You may recognise me from my expose on the secret lives of the homunculi. But enough small talk. It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you pass by, in the rain no less. No. I'm here because, well, actually it's best you heard it from Alma. I am but an overseer. Alma! Come! I found him! Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? Indeed it is! Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. It's alright, Elmer. We're attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will await you at the Prima Vista. The theatre barge has a berth at the airship landing. I don't know why. I'm a bit suspicious of this because I know that there's a lot of stuff to do with acting in this. But we'll see. Doesn't take long for us to start singing this music, does it? Sob, sob, sob. As I said before, I think it better we continue this conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here, it's simply that I don't trust anyone here. Gate guard Minigumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain admission to the docks. Can't see. Oh wait, no, you can't see something. In which case I should have really looked up to notice this thing. Now where is it? Is it directly above us? Oh, no, there it is. Come on. Nice. Bum, bum, bum. So there's our airship. Fancy as all hell it is. Alright, now let's go back up. Yep, back to the airship. I want to get to that raid. Okay. Still sobbing? Nope, just dotting. Thank you for coming, Alexander. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a guardian and what at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. Alright, it's behind us. Okay, I'm an idiot. We were still in the landing. Let me explain to you when there's no turning back. Ba, ba. Well, you certainly do like our airships. What the? Alright. And there's Leviathan, that'll be... That's either a Freet or, from the size of it, possibly more Bahamut. That's actually really awesome looking. I like how the Bahamut is actually bigger than the one that I fought, yet the Leviathan in comparison is itty bitty, and that claw is super duper massive. Anywho, let's get the story. I'm getting too distracted by the pretty things. Welcome to the Prima Vista, the most luxurious theatre barge in all the land. Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theatre Company. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. Let's just ignore that. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop. At least not known spies. Well, of course there's not known spies. Ask anyone and they will readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theatre Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere in the 3 great continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gredonia, hence my assignment of the story. It's a little known fact outside Gredonia, Garlemald at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts, who supported various theatre troupes to the tune of much coin. Indeed, Solus was so enamoured of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship, that the troupe might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, well, everything changed. Now, all theatre troupes, domestic and foreign, must submit their work for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the troupe denied their rights of transit. The worst offenders, well, they're never heard from again. This policy has effectively left playwrights with one of 2 options: compromise their creative integrity to curry favour with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The principal of the Majestic, however, chose a third option, to express his disapproval for the new Emperor's policies obliquely, in ostensibly unpolitical hey, we got it eventually, unpolitical works. Pray forgive me for my earlier outburst. I am Alma Bas Lexentale, daughter of Principal Genomus Sen Lexentale. Mayhap you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave story. On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worthy of the censor's attention, but beneath, it is something quite different. A fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success, and common folk loved its fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. Oh, 1 second. My head went in my face. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realised their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the troupe, and by the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. While bleeding the majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here, right? Allow me, Lena. The hell are you doing here? I've known Genomus since we were students at the Magitech Academy. When I first heard his daughter was in Kugane, looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give her your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. Meh. Genomus and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours. Warm flagons of peated ale, numbing our minds to the other's naive ideologies. Yet, no matter where our conversation began, it would invariably end with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The troupe was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his throne, Genomus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will ever strain against artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the skies, so others might do the same. What I'm trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all Guardians are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledge their lives to the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling that sack of sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman whose watched his family consumed in flames of a Magitech Reaper. How many Eorzean adventurers do you think would leap at the opportunity to help an Imperial search for her missing father? And in Gallian territory, no less. But you're different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, colour or creed. So what say you? I could never turn my back on a damsel in distress. I would make a poor adventurer were I to shy from adventure. Yes, I like that one. I would make a poor adventurer were I to shy from adventure. Indeed. Now that you understand the nature of our task, perhaps Alma could provide some insight as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began work on his next play, the successor to the Zodiac Brave story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Please follow me. Through adventure and hardship, young Delita, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of a mystical kingdom of Ivalice. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genomus simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delita would never have risen to the throne. His was the next tale he wanted to tell, the true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants. That is, until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the pauper's rise to regent. And if you hadn't guessed, this whole thing is like referencing Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy XII, all that type of stuff. You'll see more evidence of that as we go on. Oh, you must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Genomus becoming lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Ivalice had Genomus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so, when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge. Was it not, Alma? That is correct, Master Garland. It has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Ivalice lie beyond Nagshire, buried beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Ah, poor Dalmasca. The kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations, until the Empire came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into Dalmasca Desert to search for proof of Ivalice's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes and crystals unlike any others. My father called them auracite and claimed they were vital to proving his theories. This is one such crystal. Oh, the 12! It's magnificent! Ivalician legend told of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during his quest to gather auracite that young Delita rises to prominence. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that's all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell us how auracite spoke to him. At the time, we assumed he was speaking figuratively, that the story's beauty roused his muse. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Hinagashi, my father spent most of his time cloistered in his chambers, poring over his past research, and though he was alone, we could oft hear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed several winters gone. Might this not been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps the strain of your flight from Golemold? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Alma, who are these people? I told you not. I do not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. Oh, so good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce. Enough, Master Sid. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we are still Guardians, and we still have our pride, unlike some it seems. We require neither aid nor the pity of some foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be forced to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister's right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I will personally vouch for his character. In all the time I have known him, he has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed colour his judgment. You are lucky to have him. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genomus to his fate. I am sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. After what happened in Rabanastre, it may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the capital city. He barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. You were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Dalmasca's capital? My father's fascination with Ivalician legend began with a trip to the Antediluvian city long before the war. Call it a premonition, but something tells me it is where he has returned. Now, you must excuse us. I need some time to think. Then, Alma, I shall leave you in your brother and Alexander's capable hands. He has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant him yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. Alright, see you, Sid. Sid didn't bid me farewell. This is going in my write-up. Oh, how I miss my father. Master Garland seemed to think highly of you, so I withheld judgment until after Dalmasca. Ba 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 ba. A City Fallen. Protagonist's theme and background story for both orchestrion roles. Ramsar's itching to depart. Dalmasca is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's outermost territories. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the locations of each of the barge's exits, just in case. As for the flight itself, the currents above Dalmasca are as wild as the land below. You may want to hold on. All ready! Set sail! Anchors away! Tally-ho! Quest accepted! To Dalmasca! I hope it goes faster than that or it's going to take us a while. We'll complete our descent to Rabanastre in the shuttle. Ramza! I thought I made myself clear, Alma. The capital is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, we are wasting time. Ooh, a new area. the royal city of Rabanastre in... question mark, question mark, question mark? According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city some 1,000 years ago. But after performing several private expeditions beneath the so-called desert, Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then, your father believes that Rabanastre sits atop the royal city of Lassalia, capital of Ivalice. But if that's true, it could change history. We would be famous. Famous? Are you sure you don't mean rich? Pah, your kind are all alike. Parasites grown fat on the sweat and suffering of others. Bold words from a boy of but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then, I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it is time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. Army of adventurers, I wonder what he could mean by that.
You see, it's as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has that stopped us before? Fool! Do you see that one? Slayer of gods, they call him! Warrior of light!
Oh, my reputation precedes me. The royal city of Rabanastre, now accessible. The duty finder has been updated. Also, a city fallen. To Rabanastre!
You cannot expect me to walk away from this. If the legend of Ivalice is true, the public has a right to know. Hold on, Father. Help is on the way.
The royal city of Rabanastre. Item level 305 required, which I am good for. 120. Recently, the residents of Kugane woke up to find, hovering above their city, an airship unlike any ever seen. Yet, while of Garlean design, the vessel distinctly lacked the bleak outfitting common in the Empire's war mechana. No, this was the Prima Vista, private stage for the majestic Imperial Theatre Company. A troupe having won acclaim across Garlemald for their timeless work, The Zodiac Grave Story. Which begets the question, why are they here? The answer to that question, and more, lies in the selfsame legend of which they sing, the legend of Ivalice. let's withdraw from that because I should not have that setting on. We don't want to join in progress. We want to join in normal. So, 12 minutes it's saying. Or not. We'll see that in a second. But yes, if it takes longer, we'll skip to it. If it doesn't, well, then I'll just click commence. You know how it works.